Our Friday nightcap still here with us. Antonia Hilton, Hayes Brown, Ron Insana, Liz Winstead. What a week this has been. Donald Trump had a big one, but definitely not a winning one. Hayes, to you first. Who's your MVP of the week?
I'm going to be really basic and say Jack Smith. I hate to do it. I feel like there's so many people who deserve it, but he had a big week. He appeared in public. He said words. We saw his face. He appeared in Trump, and they didn't make eye contact. I loved the New York Times push about how it was almost like a romance novel. It was pointed out how they were in the same room but didn't make eye contact. But in laying out the charges against Donald Trump, he has shown that it was a good idea to appoint him as special counsel. In framing the indictment around national security and not around the Presidential Records Act, he really undercut the potential defense of Donald Trump. It feels like he is several steps ahead of Trump in this case, which was never really like. We wanted that to be the case during the Mueller investigation, but now we have this where it does actually feel like Smith is like ahead of the president and former president and making steps to actually hold him to account.
With another grand jury brewing in Washington, D.C. Liz, who's yours?
So I'm going with an organization called Floridians Protecting Freedom. They are a great coalition in Florida with Florida Rising and some Planned Parenthood affiliates and some reproductive justice organizations who have started a ballot initiative for 2024 in Florida. They got 100,000 votes in a month. Now they have their work cut out for them because they have to get about 900,000 votes people's signatures on the ballot by February. And also, I'm just really excited about folks who are saying, no one's coming to save us. So we, as a state, are going to coalesce and try to get on the ballot. Now, Florida's got one of those trash-ass when you get a ballot initiative on and you're trying to change the conversation.
Technically speaking, a trash-ass. Yes.
Situation where you have to get 60% of the vote, which is absurd. Republicans wanted 67% to amend the Constitution in Florida. And, fun fact, that this 6-week ban that is now being challenged at the Supreme Court, one of the justices decided to not recuse himself because he said it wasn't a conflict of interest that his wife was the co-sponsor. I'm like, how?
And that's okay.
And that's fine.
So you get to decide whether or not it's a conflict of interest. No one, man, in my next life, I just want to be a judge.
Right?
I want to be a judge.
Yeah, so go Florida, and go the people of Florida and the activists in Florida who are going to try to take it to the people.
How much of a long shot is it for them?
Well, 100,000 signatures in a month is pretty good. So I think there's motivation there. I think that don't underestimate folks who are literally on the precipice of having their entire lives be changed forever. And the fact that they're motivated feels really good. So I think good. I feel good. I feel good about getting it on the ballot, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Donald Trump obviously did consume all media this week, which, as I said before, he does love to do. In this case, it wasn't a good one, but we did miss a lot. What do you think we missed?
Well, I was going to be a little flip and say Stefon Diggs is my MVP because he returned to the Buffalo Bills minicamp, mandatory minicamp. But
I have no idea what you just said.
I know. I got that.
Good, by design.
Yeah. I had the honor of moderating an interfaith dialogue at the United Nations this week among every faith leader from around the world. And Martin Luther King III was there. And I had a chance to chat with him. This was streamed worldwide. And he carries the torch of his father in such a gracious and eloquent manner that whether or not you heard what he had to say about equality, about equal rights, about love, about peace, it was, again, one of the most moving moments relative to hearing his dad speak that I've heard in quite a long time. And the number of interfaith religious leaders who were at this was just mind-blowing. And they're just working towards peace and trying to find ways to engage with diplomats and governments and NGOs and trying to do the right thing. And it was impressive. It was awe-inspiring. And he stood out to me as still being able to carry that torch in a way that we all miss.
Are their efforts working? When you talk about this group of interfaith leaders, we don't hear from them or talk to them every day. And every day we are talking about the divide, and we have the worst, most ridiculous headlines. But they're doing the work.
There were swamis, there were monks, there were imams, there were chief rabbis, and there were Christian leaders as well. They criticized themselves for just talking, and that they needed to do more than just talk. They needed to engage not just their communities, but they needed to engage in a political way, but recognizing that church and state remain separate. And so it was a fascinating conversation. And quite frankly, I mean, it was literally religious leaders from every corner of the planet. And it was just a truly impressive and inspiring experience.
Madame Antonia.
My MVP. My MVP this week is going to be Beyonce, someone who has no shortage of accolades and awards.
People,
I'm sure, but
people worship Beyonce. Seeing her perform, many would say, is a religious experience.
I met her once.
Why?
On the Today Show, we were both standing in the hallway when she was Foxy Cleopatra.
that's amazing.
And
I'm
we stood
very
next to each
jealous.
other, and she said hi, and I said hi.
Did she know who you were?
Absolutely not.
Did you know who she was?
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, are you kidding? She did not play on the Buffalo Bills.
Okay,
I was not single at the time, so it stopped at hi.
Oh, if
Yeah.
you were, you think something would have gone in a different direction?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Ron, I think
Okay, but you can add now.
Okay, what makes her this week's MVP? Because it sounds like she's the
can
MVP of
add
your
to
life.
her many. Well, there is that. Did I spend like a month's worth of rent on tickets for her North American tour? Yeah.
Where are you going to see her?
I'm seeing her in Philly. But she, according to one economist in Sweden, she is like almost single-handedly responsible for their inflation right now because of
Sweden doesn't really face inflation.
because of the May tour leg there. And I guess all of the Americans who flew into Sweden and drove up hotel costs and restaurant costs and everything, they are pointing to her as a very likely reason.
Do you know it's our
Butter Mansa Musa? Did she show up
That's
and people
what
spend
I'm
money?
saying. So who knew she was going to be able to add that to her resume?
Okay,
I'm
but
giving it to her.
It's our fault. The news media, in fact, NBC Today Show actually did a whole piece that it was cheaper to fly to Sweden, eat, get a hotel, do a little bit of sightseeing, and go see the Renaissance tour than try to get tickets here in New York.
Yeah.
So
And that's what many, many people did. Maybe some of my friends.
Beyonce. Wow.
Maybe.
All right, I am going to give you my MVP of the week. It's not one, it's not two. It is actually 4 MVPs.
We could do that?
I can, because it's my show. The drag queens that I had the honor of interviewing last night, if you have not seen our conversation, I'm begging you, not for me, but for them, please watch it. You can find it on the bottom of your screen is how you can find it. You know this, I don't need to tell you, drag is under attack across this country for this false narrative that performers are somehow a threat to children. But I want to remind people, right? You know, I love math, I love data. From the Catholic Church to the Boy Scouts of America, we actually have a lot of awful data about where and how our youth have been targeted. Drag performers, by contrast, are just spreading joy, and they're looking incredible while doing it. Please watch that conversation, and remember it is important, especially during Pride Month.